In this video, I'm going to be introducing you to Edexcel's Large Data Set. I'm going to be saying what it is, why we use it, what's in it, and I'm going to give you some tips as to how to navigate the spreadsheet. So why do we use it? Using a large data set in a spreadsheet like this has been a requirement in the A-level course since about 2017. And it was included to reflect the nature of statistics that are actually used in the real world and in jobs. In many jobs, you are presented with a lot of data in a spreadsheet and you need to analyse it. For example, as a teacher, the biggest part of my job is teaching, but a significant other chunk is spent on spreadsheets, analysing students' data and figuring out what to do with them. So how is it used in the A-level course? Let me be clear now, you will not be examined on how to use a spreadsheet. Your final exam is on paper, it's not on a computer, you won't be asked anything about how to use a spreadsheet. But using this spreadsheet along the way in the course will help us to understand some bits of mathematics that will be examined, like mean and standard deviation and stuff like that. And the exam does throw in a couple of questions about this specific large data set to sort of check that we have been using it along the way. But again, to be clear, you will not be examined on how to use a spreadsheet. It's just a tool for us to understand other things. So let's take a look at it. Each exam board chooses their large data set to include different things. And Edexcel has chosen to look at statistics about weather, some data about weather. So this is the first page of the large data set, and it describes the sort of stuff in it and the places that are in it. So we've got some data on the weather in these cities in the UK and in 3 other cities elsewhere in the world. Those data are taken from 1987. Blimey, here we go, we're diving into it now. 1987, and if we zoom along, also 2015. So we've got data on all these different things, temperature, rainfall, sunshine, blah, 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 on all of these cities in 1987 and 2015. It's a lot to take in to begin with. The data on outside the UK, like Beijing, is actually slightly more condensed. There's slightly less of that, but there's a lot here. The dates involved go from May to October. Don't ask me why they didn't include the other months. I don't know. They go from May to October. So let's have a look at these headings here. Let's go to Heathrow, since you might know where that is. We've got daily mean temperature, probably understand that. Daily total rainfall, so this is measured in millimetres, how much rainfall is collected in a day. Some of those say ter. Now that says it right down at the bottom what that means trace, when it's less than 0.05 millimetres, so a tiny amount. Whilst we got daily total sunshine, daily total wind speed. So there are a few bits of this data set that are really silly and probably only understood why they do it by an actual meteorologist. Why do they measure wind speed in knots? Knots is usually used on ships, on boats. Maybe weather was first really important when people were sailing around the world, and so they chose to use knots for wind speed. 1 knot is about 1.15 miles per hour. You don't really need to know that. We can use these numbers without knowing what a knot is by just knowing that 19 is bigger than 10. And so it was windier on the 5th of May than on the 4th of May. So you don't need to remember what a knot is, really. This one gives a nice wordy definition of wind speed. So this is moderate wind and this is light wind. And apparently strong wind is described as fresh. Again, ask a meteorologist. Daily maximum gust, so that's not the mean, that's the biggest wind in the day, the biggest wind. Relative humidity, how humid it is as a percentage. Now, I don't exactly know what that means. If you want some extra information, we go back to that first page of the spreadsheet and go down to where it says it on here, humidity, and it gives a bit more information as to how they measure humidity. Let's go back to Heathrow in 2015. We've got mean cloud cover. Now that's measured in a unit called octas, which is how much of the sky is covered in cloud measured in eighths. So if it says 4, that's 4/8, which is exactly half of the sky that's covered in cloud. If it says 8, that means, can we find an 8? Can we find an 8? If it says, oh, I just saw one, that means that it was totally cloudy that day. The whole sky was covered in cloud. Daily mean visibility is how far you can see. Basically, I'm not going to go into that one. It says it on the other page. Pressure, again, HPA is a unit of pressure that you don't really need to know about. You just see when it's bigger and when it's smaller. Daily mean wind direction is quite nice. That's given us a bearing. So 90 degrees means, as an average, the wind was blowing from the east that day. Cardinal direction gives that direction, and then it gives similar for the maximum gust. So that was a rundown, a quick rundown of what's in there. You can go back to that front page if you want to and have a bit more of a read about those. But there's a lot there that you don't really need to know. The data is more interesting. What you should do when you open this spreadsheet is just take a look at the data. Just to start with, go through each of the pages of it, and you can see how I do that down at the bottom, and just take a look at what's there. Ideally, you'll notice something and start asking yourself some questions. Maybe you already have some questions about these bits of data. So, for example, could we start to analyse how cloud cover affects the temperature in the day? You probably got a fairly straightforward conjecture about that. How has temperature changed? Maybe this is slightly more interesting. How has temperature changed between 1987 and 2015? And how have all of those other things changed? Does that depend on different places in the world? Will it have changed more or less in Heathrow, perhaps, because it's a bigger city? Maybe it's changed more in Beijing, because that's a really big city that's grown a lot in the past however many years. Those sort of questions, when you're going through the data, try to ask yourself, and then we might make a start at analysing it. One other tip as to how to sort this data. So if I select it all, so I'm going to click on the date box here, or I'm currently on Lushar in 1987, that doesn't really matter. But in any of these, I'm going to click there and drag, so not letting go of my click, I'm clicking and dragging so that I can select the whole thing there. And I'm going to click on this button here that says create a filter. And what that does, you'll see these bits have gone green to say that I've done it. What that does is add these handy little drop-down boxes next to each of the headings. So if I wanted to find the biggest wind speed, I could click on that and say sort. Does A to Z? No, A to Z's done smallest to biggest. Let's do Z to A. We've got all these not applicables first, where it just hasn't been recorded, but then the rest of it has been sorted from biggest to smallest. So I can see where the biggest one is. If I wanted to get rid of those not applicables, if I just wanted to hide them, that's also in this drop-down box. I can scroll down in it, and I can untick the not applicable and click OK, and it just doesn't show them anymore. And then I can undo all of that by clicking select all again and OK, and then reordering by date there, and that's undone all of the sorting that I've just done. So, as I said, the best place for you to start is to just look through that data and start asking yourself questions. Good luck with that.